everybody, in this video you're learning about how you can set up the development environment for C#. So first you will have to open up your browser and you will have to search for Visual Studio Download. Okay, and then click on the first link that is here. So I'm just going to click on that and it brings you to this kind of a page. So you can select your operating system. If you're on Mac, you can select this, or else if you're on Windows, on this place here, there are basically three versions or three editions for Visual Studio. One is a community edition, the other is a professional, and the last is an enterprise. So the professional and enterprise editions are paid. We don't want that. We need the community edition, which is free, and it's more than enough for this tutorial. So just click on this free download app button and just download and install Visual Studio on your computer. Just pause this video and do that and come right back into watching this video. Welcome back. I hope you have downloaded Visual Studio on whichever operating system you're on. Now let's take a look at when we open it, how it looks. Now I'm just going to open Visual Studio. So here I've pinned that to my taskbar. So you should get this kind of a so you won't have these projects created because I've already installed Visual Studio. I just have some projects over here. So you won't have anything here. So how do you create new projects? So just click on create a new project and then it should take you to this kind of screen. So now from here you can select which language you want. So first it will be selected as all languages. So we'll select C# because that's what we will be developing in. So C#, you can also select a platform, for example Android or iOS. You can also select project type. For example, if you want to create games, then you'll select that. So in our case, we're just going to select all project types. So now let me show you how you can create a command line or console application. So here in the search box, just search for console and you'll get these options. So I want you to select this console app from the .NET framework. So click on that. Okay, and then you'll see an option like this for next and back. So you have to select next and then you have to name your project. So let's just go ahead and call this so here's where you will provide what you're building, so like what should be the name of our project. So I'm just going to for now name this test. Okay, then you can also select a location. So let me just hit browse those ellipses and let me come into my D drive inside of my folder our coding project. And inside of C#, I'm just going to hit select code. Okay, so as you can see, now it's going to get created over there. Now next we can also name our solution. So I'm just going to leave that as test. And then you should click on this create button here. So I'm just going to click create and let's wait for it to create our project. So you get this saying creating project. And there we go. The project is created. Now, let me just put that in full screen. So this is how a command line or console application basically works. So here inside of this static void main, the main method, what we're going to do is we'll say CW stands for console.writeLine. So this is used to write a line out onto the console. Okay, just print something out onto the console. Okay. So I'm just going to print out like this. So wait, you need double quotes. This is my first app. Like that, and you should close that quotation. Okay, off. You should close it off. Now you have to click on the start button, or you can even click Control F5. That's what I'm going to do. So as you can see, this output window comes, and here is the console application that we just built. Okay, this is the command line if you didn't know. And it prints out this is my first step. That's the value we have passed in here to console.writeLine. Okay. So now I'm even going to show you how we can create a Windows application. So file, here, select New Project. You can also select Control Shift plus N. Essentially, they do the same thing. They bring this menu. And now, what you can do from here is you can search for Windows Forms app from the .NET Framework. After this, I'll even show you Wpf app, but for now, let's just do Windows Forms application, of course, and then click Next and then name it. So let's just name this like Test 1. Simply just some name for showing you, demonstrating it. Let's hit Create. And of course, like how it created the console application, it's even going to create this kind of a Windows Forms application or a Windows application. So here we have our form, inside of which we can put some components. So let me just open up this toolbox so I can drag things in, drag and drop it from the toolbox into my form. So toolbox, and it's getting initialized. Okay, there we go. Now just expand this common controls. So just click on this button here. And now what you should do is you should just drag in a label or whatever component essentially you want and place it wherever you want. So let's just go ahead and place it here. And there we go. We get label 1. Now let's also open up the properties window or the properties tab. So let's go to View and select properties. Properties window. Okay. So that's how it looks. Here you can just set the properties for your label. For example, the text, right? We don't want it to be label 1. Let's just say again, this is my first app, like that. And when we click Enter, you notice it changes from label 1 to this is my first app. You can also change other properties. For example, the back color as a background color for the label. Okay, you can just kind of see and play around with all of these properties, but in this video we are not going to go in depth about these properties. So now again, for running your program, just click on that start button there. So this will just spin up your program, and it again brings up the output window. Okay, there we go. We get this form, and also we get this label inside of that, right? That's the label we put over here. So that's perfect, and that's what we want. Now, let me show you how you can create a WPF application. So this was a WinForms application. Let me show you a WPF application. So this time, instead of selecting New Project from here, I'm just going to do Control Shift N. Does the same thing again. It pops this up, and let's search for WPF. And make sure that the language that you select should be C#. Okay, not any other language, for example, like C++, F#, JavaScript, anything like that. So select C#, select WPF application from the .NET Framework, and here also you can see it's in C#. And then click Next. Name this project, so let's just say Test 2. Okay. Now let's hit Create, and that again will just create your project. Just like how it's for the console or command line application and for the Windows Forms application. So here we go. The project has been created, and now it's loading the design. Okay, so even here there is a toolbox, but that's not how you do stuff in WPF. Okay. So instead of dragging things in from the toolbox just to make alignment and stuff like that correct, actually you should type it in over here. So let me just add a label tag here, just like for dragging and dropping it inside your form for a Windows Forms application. What you should do here is you should write in the tag. So let me do that so that you can see. Okay, there we go. Let me just move this here. Yeah. So now, inside of this grid, let's put a label. So label, we can set some properties, for example, like content. We can set this to, again, like this is my first, and I spelled that wrong, first app. Okay. And then don't forget this. You have to close the tab off, okay, by just putting the greater than symbol. Okay, so because I'm using Visual Studio, even you should be using it, it just does this part for us. Okay, it closes that tag off properly. So now, there we go. This is my first app. We get that label. So I'm not sure if you can see, but here it is. Okay, so again, let's run the program and check what we will get in the window. So hit start, and output window again pops up, and yeah, there we go. We get this is my first app, exactly what we expected because we had this label here saying this is my first app. Its content is this is my first app. So that is exactly what we want. Okay, congratulations if you have made it to it. Now, also, if you want to ever create web applications, then you can use ASP.NET. Okay, so let me show you how you can create it. I'm not going to create it, I'm just going to show you. So, new project. Let's search for ASP, and we get all of this, right? ASP.NET Core, web application, ASP.NET web application, and all of that stuff. If you want to create it, you can, okay? But in our case, we are not going to create this, so I'm just going to click on this close button here, which is not included, but if I do that, yeah, now it is. So just click on that close button. So I hope you have understood about how we can set up the development environment for writing C# code. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.